Hump-Day on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Every Wednesday, Matt Magee, Justin Waller, we come to you live, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, to talk the world of sports. The Atlanta Braves in Major League Baseball, Tennessee Titans, and the National Football League, Southeastern Conference, and college football. We'll get you over the hump every Wednesday, kicking you right into your sports weekend. Hump Day, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel and your local CBS affiliates. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. Please like and subscribe today, youtube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Home of Braves Country Baseball, Tuesday and Friday nights, along with pop-up shows, and the Armchair Quarterbacks Show, which airs live Saturday mornings, youtube.com, Armchair Quarterbacks 1. Hey, football fans, the Armchair Quarterback Show is back Saturday mornings, 9 a.m. to noon Eastern. A 3-hour wake-up show that'll cover it all. College football, the NFL, fantasy football, and Major League Baseball. It's the Armchair Quarterback Show, 9 a.m. Eastern to noon Eastern, Saturday mornings, right here on the Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel.
It's important to remember the value of taking time for ourselves to do the things that help us grow and explore, like learning something new. And now with the Great Courses Plus, it's never been easier to experience the joys of learning. The Great Courses Plus offers thousands of streaming videos that cover hundreds of fascinating topics, from World War II to choosing the perfect wine. You can even take a course on the U.S. government or dealing with stress and anxiety. And because the Great Courses Plus partners with world-class professors and experts, you're always receiving thoroughly vetted, high-quality content from every lecture. Plus, you can watch or listen anytime, anywhere with the Great Courses Plus app. So take a little time for you. Sign up for the Great Courses Plus today for a free month of unlimited access. Visit thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio to get started. That's thegreatcoursesplus.com/radio.
I think my jersey was one of the top selling jerseys around the world. It was like Kobe, LeBron, and then I was right behind them, and I didn't make a dollar from it, but nor did I want to, because I knew going into college what it was all about. I knew going to my dream school, where I wanted to go, the passion for it, and if I could support my team, support my college, support my university, that's what it's all about. But now we're changing it from us, from my university, from being an alumni where I care, which makes college football and college sports special, to then, okay, it's not about us, it's not about we, it's just about me. And yes, I know we live in a selfish culture where it's all about us, but we're just adding and piling it onto that, where it changes what's special about college football. We turn it into the NFL, where who has the most money, that's where you go. That's why people are more passionate about college sports than they are about NFL. That's why the stadiums are bigger in college than they are in the NFL, because it's about your team, it's about your university, it's about where my family wanted to go. And you're taking that away so that young kids can earn $1. And that's just not where I feel like college football needs to go.
Armchair. Tom has been a teacher for over 40 years. One day, I think one of the students had asked the question and he didn't remember the answer. And I also noticed that he was letting his class out earlier than they were supposed to let out. I was really starting to worry.
Levi and I talked about how it would change our lives, but he was there beside me.
When something feels different, it could be Alzheimer's. Now is the time to talk. Visit alz.org/ourstories to learn more. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
Hump Day on the Armchair Quarterbacks. Every Wednesday, Magee, Justin Waller, we come to you live, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, to talk the world of sports. The Atlanta Braves in Major League Baseball, Tennessee Titans, and the National Football League, the Southeastern Conference, and college football. We'll get you over the hump every Wednesday, kicking you right into your sports weekend. Hump Day, every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 Central, on Armchair Quarterbacks 1 YouTube channel and your local CBS affiliates.
Armchair.
We have been hoodwinked, bamboozled, and flat out deceived.
Armchair. YouTube Live.
CBS Sports Radio Station. The radio station you can call your own. Do you know what listeners like about our station? It's everything.
I like everything. It's always on my radio. Stop the music, except for now, when I talk.
You're listening to the Armchair Quarterback Show. We're here weekdays on CBS Radio, YouTube Live, the Armchair Quarterback Show, your first choice for Southern Sports Talk. Good afternoon, Mr. Justin Waller.
Good afternoon, and I don't know much, but I know one thing. Man, I want to give shout out to our Dynasty Fantasy Baseball League. 132 points top to bottom from playoffs and 1 win difference. Kudos to everyone that was involved. It's been a great season.
I'll piggyback off of that. I don't know much, but I know one thing. My boys better wake up. I woke up this morning and was like, I'm down by like 100, man. And you had like 19 guys pitching today. You're listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks.
Armchair.
Community Access Channel.
He's the armchair quarterback. He's full of beer and he's full of snacks. The all-American man.
Hey, howdy, hi, and how the hell are you? Welcome to the Armchair Quarterback Radio Show. I'm Mac McGee, sitting alongside Justin Waller. Justin, you're off to a good start in that fantasy league, my friend.
Dude, there's some scrubs going today, man. I mean, these are some pickups that were waiver wire acquisitions down the stretch that have performed well. And to be honest, they got me to where I'm at. I'm too scared to play the waiver wire.
Let me put it.
Go ahead.
Max Fried gets me 3 points against the Rockies.
That hurts.
Taijuan Walker gets me, what did he get, 6 points? And Matt Manning decided it would be a good time to give up 7 earned runs in 2 innings pitched. It's not looking good.
It doesn't help Acuna sitting on your bench either. And I won't mention your move, but I know that had to hurt. I know it had to hurt, man.
Yeah, you know what it was? I was looking at my team. I was like, I'm not keeping him, and I don't care. I'm done. I'm done with him. I'm not going to wait till June, July, whatever he's going to come. Guess what I did this year? He already can't have his surgery because he's got COVID. I mean, this guy is jinxed. Now, some of it he's doing to himself, but this guy is jinxed. I was done with it. I thought about doing it last week, and I didn't need to, so I held off. But he just good luck with whoever gets him.
I get it. I had a hard time as a fantasy baseball owner. You know my infatuation with what used to be still is the Houston Astros center infield. I still believe you build a baseball team from the middle up. and that's straight
But I'm
through the
looking at
middle.
Shortstop is the thing.
I know, but I had to part ways with Altuve, and you know how hard that was for me and my infatuation with that team. But mine was for a different reason. But for whatever reason it is, it's still hard to do when you break ways with a franchise player in your dynasty roster.
Went 2 for 3 today.
Yeah.
I picked him up off the waiver wire after the guy in the other league, in the other bracket, David. He dropped him last year when he was in a slump, and I picked him up, and he's been money ever since. But you got to realize, so as far as shortstop goes, I've got Bobby Witt. Grissom can play shortstop. I don't know, man. It's one of those things where I'm like, I'm done with the guy.
Whether Grissom has a career in Atlanta or not, we all hope that it does. But with Swanson blocking the way, you don't know. He's going to find the diamond. The kid is talented. I don't falter your move there.
Plus, I mean, Marcus Semien. I mean, it's one of those things where I was tired of the dead weight, and I'm like, you know what? Let someone else grab him. I don't really care. I'm done. I'm absolutely done with him. Tired of looking at it, and then every time you turn around, you're like, okay, here we go. So now him coming back in May is not going to happen. They're saying probably around the All-Star break. Oh, okay, so I'm going to carry this jacket, and the problem is he's still going to be suspended at the beginning of the year, so you can't even put him in a injury slot, right? So it is what it is.
If he has the surgery, does it change? Or if you're under suspension, it doesn't matter. It would just carry over to an IL spot when the suspension is lifted?
Correct.
Okay.
He opted to go ahead and get the surgery because he was suspended, and they cleared that. So long story short, he's going to be on the IL until at least about June. And suspended until about June. And then he would go to the IL, and they hope to have him back around the All-Star break. But that's what they said this year. And they paid this guy $330 million, and I think it's going to be kid gloves. Good news though. Ronald Acuna Jr. is back in the lineup tonight for the Braves. Designated hitter, makes you worry a little bit, but the fact of the matter is the man is back in the lineup, and we need it. We need it, man. That was one of the dullest games that I've done in a long time. The Rockies Braves games last night. Not much action. There was the one double off the wall by Dansby. Dansby made a hell of a defensive play. And then outside of that, and it was a snore fest. And Freed didn't pitch well, so that made it even more dull. I'm going to go ahead and share the lineup here. 1 second. Let me get the sharing tool together.
I think the big thing while you pull that up is you need Kyle Wright going into tonight to you need to lean on that and end this 3-game slump and get yourself back in the win column because Mets aren't doing you any favors.
Yeah, we need Kyle Wright to be dominant, and then we need the offense. And look, Urena's always giving them fits, so I'm almost giving that a pass, right? But I believe the reason why Acuna wasn't in the lineup last night was because of the history with Urena. Feltner's going to the mound tonight. He's a 5.87 ERA. Tomorrow night, Cool with his 5.17 ERA, and we've got Strider and Wright. We need to win this damn series. If we're going to catch the Mets play the Dodgers tonight, but DeGrom's on the mound, and very good chance against Tyler Anderson, who's a good pitcher, but very good chance that the Mets get the win because it is Jacob DeGrom, right? Dodgers Mets tomorrow. It's a strange start for people who want to watch it. 4:00 Eastern. And I do believe it's going to be on MLB Network, and it's going to be Kershaw versus Bassett. I think the fan in us really wished that he had go over here and show the whole MLB scene. I think the fan in us would have liked to have seen. Where's the Dodgers? There it is. Would have liked to have seen Kershaw versus DeGrom, but they opted the other way. And Bassett usually pitches well at home too.
Curious with the DH designations, that mean you're not going to see much active base running with the knee injury. You notice the speed stacked 5 through 7 in this lineup tonight, which is kind of standard, but we've seen Harris moved around. Is that the play? Just keep him safe, keep him contact. Hopefully you get the long ball and easy double.
He's been getting gunned down every time he tries to steal, so I say don't let him steal. The interview that I saw recently was him saying that the number one thing that makes his legs hurt more than anything is the base running.
Yes.
It's not the fielding, it's not the batting, it's the base running. So I would have a pregame meeting and say, look, man, we are not sending you unless it is an easy jog home. That's number one. I thought they should have been doing that all along because I hold my breath every time I see him dive head first into home plate. And though it's exciting, that's all we need is for him to have a tatis, is what I call them nowadays, where his shoulder separates or something and he's gone again. It's
Any
not
chance you play around and move him out of first with the lack of base running? I know the original concept of leadoff. You're going to get
because
the long ball.
No, he's not disciplined. I mean, let's be honest. He's very talented. He's not a disciplined baseball player and baseball hitter, and he needs to lead off. Okay. And he does not need to be in the middle of that lineup trying to move runners along. He doesn't react well. We've seen it, and I really think that's why they do it. Look, as talented as he is, if he had his act together as far as being able to move around the plate, and I will say this, he has improved this year, and his walk rate has gone up, and he realizes people are pitching around him. So that's probably another reason why they like to have him at the front. But I don't like him in the middle of the lineup but I'll be honest with you, something else. I don't know if Matt Olson should be hitting fourth. I think Matt Olson should be a little farther down in the lineup. I'm not saying be overly dramatic, but I'm saying fifth, sixth, right?
I'd like to see a Harris or Grissom, preferably Harris, maybe field that first spot right now. I don't know that you put him in the middle of the lineup. I was thinking more in the 8-9. You kind of hide him down there a little, but I don't know what that does psychologically to you, young superstar. You move him from 1 to 9, that could be crushing.
What I would like to see them try against right-handed hitters is Acuna leading off, Harris in the 3 spot, and put Dansby at the Harris in the 2 spot and put Dansby in the 3 spot, and Riley in the 4 spot, Contreras at 5, and Olson at 6. And then after that, you could play around depending on who you're starting. But we'll just say, for argument's sake, for like tonight, just so you don't have the lefties going back to back, you put Grissom and then Rosario. And it is interesting to me when Acuna can play defense, what they do with Grossman compared to Rosario. Because from a fan's perspective, it's exciting to see Rosario because the NLCS MVP and whatnot. But Grossman has definitely earned every damn at bat that he's gotten.
The ball seems to go in play.
Yeah, the ball goes in play, and look, come playoffs, I fully expect Grossman's going to face the left-handed starters and Eddie the right-handed starters. But maybe, depending on the matchup, maybe you have Eddie DH and against right-handers. Not every right-hander, because I really do hate taking Contreras out of that lineup, man. The one thing I like about William Contreras over the alternative is he puts the bat on the ball. He tends to have a good at bat, and when he hits the ball, he's not always just trying to rake it over the fence. He doesn't have a round swing, right? So I honestly, barring injury or just giving someone an off day, I don't see where Ozuna belongs in this starting lineup.
He doesn't. Period.
That's sad, but considering what we've paid for him, and I don't know what they do with him in the off season.
Are you enjoying this? The DH? Do you miss it? do you want to see a pitcher hit ever again?
I didn't think I missed it. I saw a rerun of a baseball game, National League baseball game the other night. It was on one of the channels, and I forgot how much I missed that strategy. Because it was a World Series. No, was it World Series? It was a playoff game. Yes, it was a National League playoff game, and it was taking place in the middle of the 1980s. And the back and forth with the broadcasters debating on whether or not they should pull that starter or not. I was like, man, that was baseball. Like, that was it. And that's what I hate the most about it, is that we don't get that back and forth anymore. It's, long time.
No, and I think when we have 5 years worth of data, we're going to watch these National League ERAs balloon. And we're going to sit back and and I get it. It's the offense. It's the fantasy baseball. You want to see the product. You want to protect your pitcher. But, man, the Freeds, the Bumgarners of the world, the all the pitchers that could hit just really made it amazing. I mean, heck, Bartolo Colon, seeing the big Diesel run one out for a single or clobber one every now and then was well worth it. You still had to be respectful. It wasn't always an easy out if you had one of them studs that could actually step in the box and make contact.
The other thing is that it was very exciting when one of the pitchers came through and got a base hit.
Yes.
Last year, that was one of the things that kind of catapulted the Braves last year, if you remember, against the Marlins. We had an extra inning game that we were down 4 or 5 runs going into the ninth, and it was man, I want to say it was Memorial Day. It's definitely a holiday, because we were at a party and I came back and watched the replay, stayed away from the score. Right, it was a Sunday game, so next day we were off. And I came back and I watched the game, and I'm watching this. I'm like, what in the hell am I watching? Go up and get another beer. And I'm like, I can't even believe I'm sitting here watching this crap. It's been over for 5 hours, and I'm over here just glued to it. And they came back, and this was the one where Max Fried got the game-winning RBI. And this is when Heredia came out of the dugout with the swords for the first time, because he was running around. That was one of the most phenomenal, exciting moments of the entire season. And I'm even including our playoff run, because it was a pitcher that got a hit, was supposed to get a hit, and now like all that's gone. And I get it, and I don't stand on my soapbox, and I don't bitch and moan about it, because it doesn't do any good. It's not you're not going to put the toothpaste back in the tube. But by the way, it looks like a buddy of ours. He hasn't responded, but considering the picture he just sent me, I think he's going to the game tonight. Will Banks, he just shot me a picture. I'm gonna see if I can pull this up, because I can't believe I never noticed this or saw this before. While I'm trying to do this, what's your thoughts about Jesse Chavez? You see the Jesse Chavez news? He's back. We picked him up off of waivers. What up with that?
I'm about excited with anything that has to do with an arm in the front or back of this Atlanta rotation, bullpen, just top to bottom, our stable of arms. I'm missing the stables that we had in the 90s and the early 2000s, and I would like to get back to that. I want to see these young players develop. So anytime we let one get away, and I know we were both upset that Chavez was off the roster, and to have him back, I got a feeling you're just as excited as I am. I mean, it's the back end of this bullpen can be pretty good when it settles in. I'm excited to see what they do in September and what that transitions to, hopefully, in the postseason.
I love it because, first of all, the guy, it was well documented today by David O'Brien from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution of how he's a clubhouse favorite. And evidently, because I didn't realize this, but their years go back to way back in Pittsburgh. Charlie Morton and Jesse Chavez evidently are really close. And so Charlie Morton was really excited to find out that He was.
Wow, that escapes my memory.
The thing is, I remember when it happened, talking about the fact. I don't remember if it was with you, but I remember talking about the fact it wouldn't be cool if we found a way to get him back. Maybe it was with someone on Twitter. I don't remember. Or maybe it was during the broadcast. But I remember thinking to myself, wouldn't it be cool? But I didn't know how it would work because I think he's phenomenal, and I don't know how he keeps slipping through the waiver wire. But they did. They allowed it. Let's see if I get this picture up. Stupid thing quits giving me alerts. Okay.
I don't know if we need a photo of Will Banks.
Will Banks is going into. I didn't know that existed. Mac McGee's The Battery of Atlanta, and I'm like, really? I've been there a few times over the last calendar year. I don't know where that is, but I'm finding it next time.
We got to get you a plaque on the wall in that place. Yeah! On the back of a bar stool. I mean, I'm down to chip in. Like, this has to happen. Or this is the greatest punk on air that one of our buddies has done to us, because...
Or it's the setup. I go in there, it's going to be some girl from my dark past goes, I knew you'd walk in here if I opened up a place.
Or that's a Trevor Bauer kind of location, and battery is a completely different meaning. Will Banks might be up to something here. You might want to do a couple searches before you travel down to this place.
I think the punter from Buffalo needs to get signed by the Browns, and him and Deshaun Watson.
All right, let's don't talk about punters, man. That's a sore subject right now, and my infatuation with kickers. But my Titans have released a Pro Bowler in Brett Kern, and I'm still.
Oh, I was excited. I thought you'd be excited. I want that jersey, Stonehouse. That's a kick-ass name, man.
It is, but it don't seem 5 or 6 time Pro Bowler. Like, I mean, this is your Pro Bowl punter. This guy has flipped the field more times in these horrible past few years than anything else in this whole organization. What defense?
Do you think it might have anything to do with the one play where he showed a little bit of speed, and I feel like Vrabel's got a little bit of a gambler in him. Almost like a riverboat gambler, like, Bowden used to be. Do you think he could be setting this up because he likes the ability to run a fake punt at midfield, like the way our boy Fisher used to do?
Could very well be. I mean, the young man has talent. There's no denying that. But what you have talent in practice and, again, preseason versus a known commodity of a Pro Bowl punter, man, that's a hard thing to cough up. But I will say this defense is in a lot better situation than what it was in years past, and maybe you don't need to put as much on your Pro Bowl punter to flip fields and give your defense a fighting chance.
Let me ask you this. If you look at – so, first of all, Stonehouse, they might have just done it to sell jerseys, right? I mean, let's be honest. Stonehouse, that is a kick-ass name, and it's even better if it's a punter. It's going to be even better if he shows up at Preds games and starts chugging beers with the guys, right? But
yeah, and they're also talking to Josh Gordon too. Let's keep the Stonehouse to a minimal, okay? I mean, let's seriously reel that in.
Are they really talking to Josh Gordon? I didn't see that.
It's on the team website today. They are one of the teams that are interested and have had discussions. Let me rephrase that. They're not the only team, but Stonehouse and Gordon on the same team is probably a bad combination.
I'm sorry, but let it go. I'll tell you a guy that I want to get on the Braves one day. He's the only New York Met that I could say I'm a fan of, and I don't know why. I don't even know why I like the guy. But Brandon Nemo is fun to watch. I just saw him drop a bunt and almost beat out an infield bunt.
I'm really shocked Pete Alonso wasn't your choice.
No, man, I can't stand that fat bastard. And he's a Gator. And I'll tell you who I just absolutely despise at this point. And every time he does something, he makes my skin crawl because he comes off so damn phony. Is Francisco Lindor, and I was a fan of his when he was in Cleveland because I didn't know who he was. I didn't know him. I knew him from fantasy baseball, right? But I didn't man, everything that comes across with that guy. I love the fact, I don't remember if we've done the show since then, but when Rizzo and the Yankees went head to head last time, and there was an argument on the field on whether or not doing a replay, and Rizzo told him to shut the F up. they got it on audio, and he's like, what do I say? Man, just shut the F up. Of course, he's not saying F, I'm cleaning it up. And I was like, I love Rizzo even more now, man. Way back when he was going to go, Freddie, chasing him. I'd love to see him at some point get a Rizzo on our club towards the end of his career. We're not going to be able to afford him as an actual starter, but would the Yankees be dumb enough to give us Ozuna? I see all these people putting up things talking about how we're going to trade Ozuna here. They're like, who is going to take his salary? And even if the Braves say we're going to pay more majority of the salary, do you even want him? He can't.
And these are the same people that, if you go back and search their timeline, I guarantee said you need to trade Austin Riley because you got Camargo. How do you like me now?
I had blood coming out of my ears during that whole debacle. Like, what are we talking about here? We're talking about getting rid of Riley? I mean, what? Oh, he can play left field. Okay.
He's also pretty good at the hot corner.
Because oh my God, I had a damn argument with the guy right as the season was beginning, back and forth on one of the, I don't know, Twitter or something. And he was trying to give me all these metrics about Riley in playing third base and how he wasn't one of the top ones. I was like, first of all, majority of the plays that you're referring to that he can't get to, he's not actually playing third base. He's playing shallow right field, whereas where you dumbasses wanted to put him was in the outfield to begin with. So I don't even want to hear that garbage. Austin Riley is a fine third baseman. Is he Arenado? No, but nobody is. That guy's like freaking Spider-Man over there.
I didn't hear these people complaining about Josh Donaldson. I heard that they loved that he hit them in the numbers with the baseball. I see a lot of that from Riley. I see an improvement at the plate, not a one-year contract wonder where you made it rain. You have gotten better. You had trouble with high heat. You have spent time, and I'm gonna tell you, throw Austin Riley all the high heat you want right now, and I watch you. That exit velocity is gonna be high. Yeah, he has no problem with the high heat anymore.
And I honestly don't believe on any level that he's going to win a Gold Glove, because Arenado is going to play for so damn long, and there'll probably be some other kid but he's not going to lose you games either at third base. And when you can have that stick playing the hot corner, because the banning of the shift is coming. I think it comes by next year, but it's definitely coming. Your third baseman's going to have to start playing third base all the time again. That's going to be a big deal to have Riley over at third, Ozzie, who plays a very good second base, Olsen, phenomenal glove. I know he's up and down with his bat, but his glove's phenomenal. If they can find a way to keep Dansby, you can slide Grissom out into left field and let's go.
I'm trying to look real quick because I do not remember. Was Terry Pendleton a Gold Glover? Did he win one?
Trying to think of back in the,
because I don't think he did. You hear
but
any complaints about how he played the game at third?
I don't ever remember him hurting us at third either.
No, that's that's my point. Do you ever remember any complaints from diehard Braves fans about Terry Pendleton playing the hot corner?
Yeah.
No, you don't, because he was
yeah, three-time Gold Glove award winner. Stand corrected.
Chipper definitely outshadowed him then. I don't remember them. They were early on then.
Right. Well, that's why I was wondering if he had won one, because I knew Chipper had slid into third. He won one with Atlanta, won two in St. Louis.
Okay.
Now, when he got late, what I remember the most about him is later in his career, he was a liability a little bit at third base because he gotten a little heavy. But
I was hesitant whether he had one or not with Atlanta. I could not remember, and obviously I remember chipper, and I think that's what everybody remembers. But it wasn't a problem. If Austin gets one or doesn't get one with his time with Atlanta, it does not matter.
Yeah, I really don't.
He has a better chance of being MVP.
As long as he's not kicking the ball in the dugout, we're fine, right? There's probably a good chance towards the end of that contract that we just locked him up to that he's our designated hitter. But I think that's a long ways away. A long ways away. I don't think there's any way, shape, or form that happens in the next 5 to 7 years.
And if you don't like your production with Olsen, see what the kid's got at first. I mean, you have options when you have someone in your organization that long and that young. You can find another position for him to fill in. If you have a young talent that comes up, a Camargo that actually pans out.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anyways, we could go on and on and on about that forever. But the point is, the guy, Austin Riley, was fine. And when these fans get in here and they start asking about, well, what about this guy? What about that guy? What about this guy? It just they're trying to put together a fantasy baseball team. That's not how it works.
I think our biggest conundrum right now is what do you do with Short, Grissom, and left field? And how do you figure out those two positions between Swanson and Grisham, and can you?
I'm assuming that he can he being Grissom can play a fine left field. That's not the most difficult position, right? In fact, that's normally where you put your putts at when we're out there playing, pickup games. This guy sucks. Put him in left field, right? You don't necessarily do that in slow pitch softball.
No, you put those in right field.
Until the big bopper from the left side of the plate comes over, then I'm over there pulling the shift on you. I'm always against the shift in Major League Baseball, but I did it a lot in Restaurant League softball.
Yeah, you can slide that first baseman back.
Exactly. Yeah, but I don't understand why these fans think that from the jump, you're going to have basically a fantasy baseball team. Like, if you look at the Yankees and the Dodgers, who are biggest payrolls in baseball, they don't have perfect players at every position.
No.
You could pick apart a lot of players on the Dodgers, but from top to bottom, you're like, look out, let's go.
They consistently, top to bottom, every one of them will hit their numbers.
Having a terrible year.
Yeah, well, let him catch an 0-2 fastball in the postseason and see where it winds up.
Yeah, let Luke Jackson get healthy and see how big of a slump he's in.
Yeah. Well, we will liven him up, I promise you that. So they're going to hit their numbers. I'm not worried about it. I'm sure Roberts isn't worried about it. He knows his guys when it comes to – let's face it, you play in a division like that, are you even worried about playing the entire season? Once you get a double-digit lead, do you really need to push it? Can you back it off? Because it doesn't matter. You get a bye, you go to the postseason, and you turn it on. Now,
right.
If you're a professional team and you've been there before and you've won it and you're year in, year out doing it, which I can't remember the last time the Dodgers haven't. It's been a while. They've been there. Haven't won them all, but they do have a ring.
While we're sitting here shooting the bull, we're about to switch over to let's set something up real quick. We're about to switch over to college football, but when we go back and forth and we're not using it, I'm going to go ahead and share the screen for the Braves game so people can see it. Acuna isn't bad, and I think it looks like he just struck out, but he roasted one down the right field line and it just went foul. I mean, just went foul. So his swing looks like it's okay. Luckily, he didn't go flying around diving into base, for no apparent reason. But anyways, let's go ahead and switch to a little college football talk, because look, college football starts in honesty this Saturday. Now, we got a few games last weekend, and when you look at that what do they call it? Week 0? Is that what they're calling that nowadays?
I mean, they call it an entire month, week 1. So yeah, week 0.
It's kind of funny that they say week 1, August 5th.
Metaportal with Smart Sound.
Oh, they got you with the pop-up again.
Yeah, they're always out there to get me. I want to see if we can actually pull up. Here it is. Okay, box score of the Florida State game. So
Had no problems there, buddy.
What's that?
You had no problems there. Were you a little nervous?
It felt weird. I'm not gonna lie to you, it felt weird.
Did you see more than 3 plays?
FSU scored 47 points, and they pulled up the horses middle of the third quarter.
It's a funny score.
Looking at what they did, I'll tell you what I was impressed with. First of all, Tate Rodemaker is just garbage. I mean, this guy has not improved one damn bit. I mean, not one damn bit. So that's the number one thing that jumped out at me. The number 2 thing that jumped out at me was the running backs are really good. Let me see if we can get this thing shared real quick. People see if this will do this. But the running backs for FSU were outstanding. And I know it was against a smaller team, Duquesne, but they weren't doing this last year. Remember, we lost to Jackson State. The reason why we lost to Jackson State was because we could not move the ball against them. A terrible football team. We could not move the ball. Trayshawn Ward, Trey Benson, and Lawrence Tuafili. By the way, update, Austin Riley just jacked one over the damn wall. It's 2-0 Atlanta.
All week long in practice.
Here we go.
That sort of
man, they are always going to try to get you with them pop-ups. But anyways, I'll go back to this week's Florida State's running back situation is great. I thought their quarterback play was decent, and then they put the backup in, and this guy has not improved one damn bit. So Duffy, who's a freshman who came in third, he's about to take that job. That is a bet you can have. Now Tennessee, I'll pull that game up. Where is it?
Ball State, 6 o'clock Thursday.
Yeah, it's
7 Eastern.
I'm trying to find. Is it because?
Oh, we didn't even make the are gonna play this week on Top Games. We got booted.
Isn't it being televised by
it's SEC Network.
Yeah.
6. There it is, right there.
That's
7.
not a top game. You're televising it. I don't even care if you believe it's a top game or not. Go ahead and put it on there. That's what I would be. I guarantee if I was the damn producer, like, what are you doing not putting it in a top game? All right.
I believe this is, if I read correctly this week, first matchup between these two schools.
That seems odd because I swear I feel like they've played before, but I don't know why I feel that way, but Tennessee's 35-point favorite. Where are you leaning on this? Taking the points or staying away?
I'm not betting my team or my points right out of the gate. I'm interested in it, but the over-under's too far up there for me. I think this offense will put some points on the board. I don't know how many they give up to a Ball State, so I'm going to sit out of this one. But if I had to pick one in this game, I'm going to lean the over. I think Tennessee can score 50. I think this offense will put up 48 plus, and I think there'll be some slip-ups or some accidents late in the game and give Ball State an opportunity. So if I was going to put money on it, I would be leaning towards the over, but I don't like the minus 35 at all.
You know what I don't understand about this entire thing? Why is Tennessee not ranked? I think they're going to be a very good football team.
Because we've been rebuilding for 22 years, since 1998, or I guess 24 years.
I think they're a team. Let's look at their schedule. We haven't done this yet. Let's go. You know what? Scratch what we might have had. we're gonna do our picks. Obviously, I don't think we'll get time for the. I mean, hell, we talked about the punter. We probably did enough about.
That is pretty embarrassing that Kentucky's ranked 20 and we didn't get a ranking. But hey, I'd rather not be ranked.
Let's go ahead and do our predictions for college football. I think I forgot to bring that up. I wasn't thinking about the fact that the season's starting. We're kind of out of sorts compared to what we used to do. Folks who are just watching the show or just listening to the show for the first time, Justin and I used to break down every damn football team in the country for 3 or 4 months leading in, and then we'd sprinkle in baseball talk. And that's what our show was. All right, so do this. I'm gonna shorten this up so it looks better on the app. All right, Ball State. I mean, come on, that's a W.
I'm gonna take a W there. I'd like to say week 2, considering what they lost last year, but that's no cupcake.
Why is Pittsburgh so overly ranked, in my opinion, because they lose their quarterback and their best receiver went to USC.
I agree. Still tough place. I'm not saying look past Pitt. They always put up a good, scrappy team, but should get a W there. And then Akron, you got to hope you win one there at home. If not, we don't need to talk about
I'm going to put a stamp on it. They're going to beat the Gators in Knoxville. I listened this morning, trying to remember who it was. I know it was CBS Sports Network, but man, tell you what, I didn't think Contreras ran slow for a catcher. He just got gunned down at home. He was running slow, man. We'll see if the Braves actually challenge that. He was on first. Harris ripped one in the corner, right? And he didn't get a good jump at all. And Ron Washington does not know the meaning of, man, you know what? He beat the throw, but his lead foot bounced and didn't touch home plate. It was his back foot that hit it. So it really is going to come down to, I don't think they're going to challenge it. It was a bad slide or bad luck slide, however you want. I mean, I know when you're going and hitting the ground like that, it's hard to control your foot like that. But anyways, the Braves are hitting this Feltner guy. Riley's got a 2-run homer. And I didn't see how Contreras got on, but Harris, we were just talking about how we'd like to see him up higher in the lineup, man. He has got a pretty stroke. He is ours for the next 10 years, man. I love it. I love the fact that we got these guys locked up and they're good. Not counting Ozuna.
Still want to hear more about this.
Got him on lockdown until 2024. Okay, back to the
County
Florida.
or Fulton County, I mean. County Correctional.
We got to find a way to get him popped, man.
Hey, Billy, what you doing?
We got to do something, man. Come on now. Get him to pat. Can we sneak some PEDs in his damn drinks?
Well, does he eat at your restaurant?
Okay, so Ball State, we got as a W. I really look. Okay, I'll even go worst case scenario that they don't beat Pittsburgh, right? Akron's a win. Worst case scenario, it's 2-1 heading into Knoxville, September 24th against the Gators, and I don't think Florida's going to beat Tennessee in Knoxville.
I hope you're right.
I feel like that's going to be a night game too. I don't know what the other SEC games are, but there'll probably be a night game because if Alabama plays anybody, they're going to be the 3:30 CBS.
I'm looking real quick. I've got them here in front of me. And the 24th. Oh, yeah. They got Vanderbilt. That'll be the prime time. Crimson Tide and the Commodores. Woo-hoo. That might not even make an SEC network.
At LSU, and then at home against Alabama. Where are they after those, what is that, 6 games?
After the Alabama game, I've got them with, and honestly, I say 3. I'd love to say that they're 4-2, but I think they dropped 3. I think they lose to Alabama. I think they lose in Death Valley. The Florida LSU is a toss-up, and I'm going on the side of caution and say the L in Pittsburgh, but that could be the game that turns into a W. But they'll drop one of the LSU, Florida, and then obviously I think Alabama gets them unless wow, we've seen an amazing transition in this defense over the past few seasons if they come in there and can take care of Alabama at home. Past that, it evens up.
I got them 4-2 after Alabama, after the Alabama game, because I feel like they're going to split between at Pittsburgh, home against Florida, at LSU, and home against Alabama. They're going to win 2 of those. I feel like the Florida one is definitely one of the ones they're going to win because it's in Knoxville, and that's a big game. And I feel like that the rivalry will renew itself. Alabama's so damn hard to beat. I mean, it is a rivalry game, but Alabama's Alabama. You just almost have to punt that one. LSU, that game's going to come down to, is that a night game or do we get them during the daytime? Can we get a noon kickoff in Baton Rouge?
No, what we need is Saturday night primetime in Death Valley, and we need Josh Heupel to hang 60, 70 points on that LSU defense and get us some recruits up in there. That's what we need.
Well, that's what FSU decided to do. They're going on the road to LSU. We will talk about that in a minute. They're going on the road to LSU to start this whole thing off, their first real game, and they're playing it in the Superdome. That place is going to be louder than hell.
Way to pick a neutral stadium.
Yeah, exactly. That's a great neutral stadium. They're actually joking about this. So don't you love how these SEC schools say, we'll play it in a neutral field, and they make sure it's in their home state? Georgia playing in the Peach Bowl.
There's one loss there. Rest of the season.
See, that's what I'm saying, Adam. That's why I don't preseason. I feel like Tennessee should be ranked. Worst case scenario, I got them 8-4.
Yeah, but best I got them 9-3.
Right.
10-2, absolutely tops. If you can run the gauntlet and just drop Alabama and Georgia, man, phenomenal year.
Yeah,
but that's not going to happen.
I'd say what I meant is what I think the floor probably is. I guess worst case scenario would be 5 losses. Like if they dropped a game they shouldn't lose. But Vanderbilt and South Carolina should not be an issue. Missouri, it's in Knoxville. Come on now. They should beat Kentucky because it's in Knoxville. UT Martin's a W. Georgia's going to be a difficult, but Georgia also could be sleepwalking if they are undefeated going into that game and cruising with the SEC East. You never know what.
And they're sandwiched in between Florida and at Mississippi State. Not that Mississippi State's going to be anyone to turn heads, but they could be looking ahead to at Kentucky. So you've got a big game for Georgia to have a lot on their plate there at the end.
All right, let's go back to more college football talk. We'll kind of get some of this going.
But seriously, Georgia's schedule this year, past Oregon's kind of not much there. Depending on what Auburn fields this year, Georgia's looking at a pretty easy slate.
SEC, we'll hit that first. We already talked about Ball State and Tennessee. Georgia, Oregon.
Yeah.
But once again, they say, oh man, it's a road game. It's a neutral site. My ass, it's in Atlanta, Georgia. That's not gonna come on now. By the way, Braves fans out there, Atlanta does lead 2-0. It's in the top of the second. Rockies are threatening. Keep you updated on that. Georgia should win this game. I know Oregon's ranked number 11. You know me, I have no faith in a Pac-12 team coming into SEC country on the road. But I'll say this. I was dead wrong about Oregon last year when they went into Ohio State and thumped them.
Well, I do. Utah's going to go into Gainesville and thump Florida.
I do think Utah's going to win that game. Thump? I don't know.
Nah, thump was a little exaggeration. My bad.
The 3-point line, I feel like they're being disrespected.
That's a legit defense.
It is. And it's also a team in Florida, though talented, they're I don't know if it's a complete rebuild, but they're definitely in a transition, right?
I mean, the list is short. Name a defense in the Pac-12. I mean,
We did.
Utah. We named it.
Exactly. And they've got a lot of starters coming back for folks who aren't familiar with Utah. They've got a lot of starters coming back. That's why they're ranked preseason ranked so high. If they can beat Florida, they could have a really nice season. Let's see what else we have in the SEC. Anything else before Sunday? Nothing. All right, bunch of snooze fest. And then you get Florida State.
I'm gonna tell anybody that's looking there that Mississippi State minus 16. Memphis plays Mississippi State very well, and that is a great rivalry game. Geographically, it is obviously the conferences are completely different in scope of money, facilities, and all of that. But these are schools that are recruiting the same profile players in this area, so. Memphis is going to bring a game, and that might be a nice little early season upset right there.
But are you honestly going to watch that when at the same time you've got Ohio State, Notre Dame, and Florida, Utah playing at the very same time?
Minus 16, I'm going to take Memphis plus 16. I probably would find some interest once anybody stretches it out. I mean, I don't want to hurt your feelings, but this game right here is, well, that's the next night. My bad. I was going to say, that one's may not be as close as everybody's thinking.
Yeah, we're having a big draft day party over here at the house on Saturday. And long story short, Florida playing Utah. If I try to change that damn television to Memphis, Mississippi State, because I laid some bones on it, there's a couple of people who are probably going to throw me in the pool.
Are you buying the Brian Kelly rebuild? How long you giving
I don't know. Look, we're going to find out. First of all, he should have a very talented roster. We know that. Florida State's going to go in there. They at least have a game under their belt. I think that's huge for them. I'd like to see Florida State keep this close. LSU should be favored much more than 3 points. I know they're calling it look.
I like that over.
6 points alone for playing LSU in a night game. And I don't care that it's not technically in Death Valley. They're going to travel. Yeah, that over 51.5 seems low.
I would take
Florida
that.
State's defense has improved, but not enough to shut LSU down. I think LSU probably wins the game. I'll give a score on Saturday, but I think it's a higher scoring game. But I think Florida State will try to control the ball on the ground. And look, if fumbles go their way, they could make it really close. But if I'm a betting person, I never bet against Florida State. But if I'm a betting person, I am taking LSU minus 3 because I'm assuming the money line's probably, I don't have it in front of me, but I'm assuming it's like minus 150. It just doesn't make sense. It's almost like they know something you don't know, but not this time. All right, let's go back to just go to top 25 action. See Brian chiming in. Good to see you, Brian. Who does stop? I should stop and look. Well, Miami's ranked, so we should run into it. I don't know who they played first. All right. First of all, started off Thursday night. That's a fun one. Pittsburgh and West Virginia, and Tennessee fans will get a good idea of what they have right off the bat.
I'm curious to see it. This is another low over-under. Only thing that scares me is Pitt's loss of quarterback-wide receiver combination. Do they struggle in game one? But, again, that's a 27-24 puts you over or a push.
You know you're getting some views when the porn sites show up and start banging. Yes. I'm getting tired of having to do that, man. All these porn sites show up and just, hey, come in and check out the boobies or whatever they're trying to sell me. All right. West Virginia, 7.5 point underdogs. I don't know about that one. It's in Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh's catching both of their big opponents early in the season at home. That's going to be, they better get a W because I'm going to say the rest of their opponents are on the road. That's an interesting, yeah.
Western Michigan getting 22 points. So if you have any success Thursday night, I highly suggest throwing some bones on it. Because you know what that smells like to me? That smells like a game where Michigan State's going to win that game 26-10. They're going to win, but that's about it. Mets just went up 2-0 on the Dodgers. Looks like Marte hit a 2-run home run. That's a really good player too, man. I wouldn't call myself a fan of his, but if he played for anybody else, I'd be a fan of Starlin Marte. He's a damn good baseball player. You never see him give up at bats. That's my biggest thing. When you see these professional baseball players and you just see them just flail and give it up in at bat, it really ticks me off. You never see that with Marte. Would you feel comfortable enough taking Oregon plus 17? Or do you feel like eventually Georgia's going to wear them down and win by 20 or so?
The latter's probably true. I don't know enough about Oregon's roster to even touch that. Over-under is the only thing I'm interested in that week 1 matchup there.
Now I see why I don't know who Miami's playing. Bethune-Cookman.
Yeah.
There's not even a line. All right. What do you think? I think Miami probably hangs about 60 on them. Bethune-Cookman's a really small college for people.
No lines at Miami. That's funny.
What's that?
Nothing. Can't repeat on air. My bad.
Florida, Utah, once again. I think Utah's getting little or no respect. The money line, something. I'd almost feel very comfortable doing a 3-point teaser and take Utah and LSU to cover. It just doesn't. It seems like, man, those are two teams that are playing two teams. Look, I live in Florida. I get it. I should probably have more faith in them. But I think Florida and Florida State are just not there with Utah and LSU. And we're going to see that.
There's the game right there.
Not big enough. 41.5 against Utah State. I've already seen his name's escaping me, the quarterback for Alabama. Bryce Young. I've already seen him in a couple of commercials, so he's got some NIL money to back up. Here we go. Did you see that the new head coach for Notre Dame, defensive coordinator, took over, made a comment about this right here, Notre Dame being a 17-point underdog, and how he's going to use his bulletin board material. I mean, first of all, I hate to say it, but you're aging yourself when you call it bulletin board. Kids are going to be like, what the hell's a bulletin board?
I don't think it matters. Do you?
No, because I think Notre Dame's rank is way too high, 5th in the country. They still have to play Southern Cal and Clemson. If they get dusted by Ohio State in the first week, it's going to be hard to get back to that number 5. Because what the ranking's supposed to be at the beginning of the season is where you think a team is going to end up with when it's all said and done. After that, it turns into who's the best team right now. But the preseason rankings, that's what it's supposed to be.
That's in South Bend, maybe.
Yeah, but it's not.
No way I give it to them in the Horseshoe. No way. In Columbus, it's over. And 17, I think they probably touch it easy. I think Ohio State walks away from that game.
If you're taking that, you're taking it because you hate Ohio State and you want entertainment, right? You're putting it as a part of a ridiculous parlay. I love this game. I'm looking forward. I'm hoping I get to see some of this. Don't get sidetracked because we're doing our drafts and we're watching the ball games. Cincinnati, Arkansas, 6.5 points. And Cincinnati's ranked. Arkansas is ranked. That's a fun one.
It is a fun one, and I'm curious to see the money line on this one because I don't know, man.
They should have made that with opening weekend. They should have made that like a Thursday or Friday night game. Give it its own, so you could just really absorb it. There's so much other stuff going on at that time. Let me see if there's anything else here before we. Clemson, Georgia Tech. The only thing I really want to see, I don't even see a line. I don't know. You'd think there'd be some kind of line. The only thing I'm interested about that is, does Ugalele look better this year? I'm not expecting him to be Trevor Lawrence 2019, but does he look better? Because I could make the argument last year that when Florida State and Clemson played, we actually had the better quarterback on the field. And everybody knows I am not the biggest Jordan Travis fan. I think he has now turned into a solid college football quarterback, but that's his ceiling. He's not going to the NFL and doing great things. That's not happening. But Ugalele was, I mean, he was a problem.
I still don't think they have the quarterback, and I think Dabo's in trouble. You won't see it in week 1 here, but it's going to expose itself this season. That 4 won't be there. You have them finishing at that top?
No.
It's not going to be there, I don't think.
Right before we do our national championship projections, let's do this real quick. If you look at this, you got a few minutes to spare?
I do.
Okay. Forgot how much I missed doing this with the college football talk with you. Been a while. All right. Looking at Clemson. I mean, look, for them to be number 4 in the country, don't they have to be undefeated? And then losing the playoff game?
I think they would have to be. But I'm going to tell you, I don't think that NC State game's going to be easy.
Wake Forest
won't, but I still don't think this is the high-octane offense that they're used to. Florida State and at Boston College, and it's not going. They've got a good stretch of games. You don't want to catch those. You're catching BC and Florida State on the road back-to-back. Those are traditionally too tough.
Right after the NC State game. So you don't get a week off between Wake Forest, NC State, BC. Florida State might just catch them beat up.
Could very well. I don't think they drop all those, but I'm telling you, I think that they're going to be in some dogfights, and I don't know that they walk away unscathed. And if they've got a blemish on their record, I don't know that they're strong enough scheduled to keep them in. Unless every one of these ACC schools remain in the top 25, and I just don't think that's going to happen. And you probably need a Florida State or a Boston College to join.
So those 4 games we just mentioned, that's going to be a gauntlet. I don't think they'll have a problem with Syracuse no matter what. Then they do get a week off before they go to Notre Dame. But when they finish their season up, they've got to play Notre Dame and Miami. And I get that they get the Miami game at home. But once again, they're going to have to go undefeated to make it. And I don't think it's going to happen.
I don't either. Well, let me rephrase that. We've got to see a different Ugalele. You can't see what we've been seeing on the field the past season and a half.
A much different one. All right, so let's get to college football standings. Let me go over here so we can make our quick predictions on – that didn't load. Here we go. All right. So we're only going to do the 4 or 5 major conferences, which means we can probably skip the ACC. All right. ACC. Here is the conferences, top to bottom. Who wins the Atlantic?
Give me the Wolfpack.
I'm going to take a dark horse and say, I don't know where that game is, but let me get the Demon Deacons. Who wins the Coastal?
Doesn't matter, but we'll give it to the Hurricanes.
I'd like to know, we don't have time to go through everyone's schedule. It takes too long to reload. I'd like to know where that Pittsburgh-Miami game is. I'm leaning Hurricanes, but if that game is in Pittsburgh, then I'll say Pittsburgh. All right, Big 12. Who wins this thing?
I'm going to go easy out and say Kansas. No, I'm kidding. Oklahoma. We'll just
Yeah, I feel like Oklahoma, it's going to be, you know what? I'll go out on a limb and grab Baylor. I'll say Baylor. Baylor's got some good players coming back. Big Ten.
Well, I mean, no reason to discuss the West. But I'll pick Purdue if you want me to pick someone. I'm not going with Wisconsin. I'm tired of seeing that.
Purdue, Penn State, Thursday night.
And I would like that would be really cool if it could be a rematch, but it's not going to be. So Ohio State, Purdue.
Yeah, I don't think Ohio State's going to fall 2 years in a row. Give me Ohio State. And God, I get so tired of picking the freaking Wisconsin.
Well, you'll be able to pick UCLA and USC here before too long. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
The West is getting help.
I'll go. I know who it's not going to be. Scott Frost in Nebraska. They already lost to Northwestern. That's a wrap. Let me go out of hell with that. I'll go Wisconsin. There's a part of me that kind of likes what Minnesota's doing, but we'll move on from that. Conference USA, nobody cares. Scrolling past all that junk. Pac-12, give me one team that's going to win it. We won't spend time on it.
Utah.
Yeah, I think it's Utah. I think that I really believe that USC is always overrated, always over. They shouldn't be 14th in the country. Based on what? Now, you might be able to talk me into Oregon, but not that. All right, SEC. Here we go. This is where the bread is buttered.
This one's chalk for me this year, man.
Vanderbilt versus who?
Yeah, Missouri. Can't happen. Never mind. I went full team. I saw myself for a moment there. Sorry, Tamus. Didn't mean to blast you like that. Let's go. I mean, I can't see it any other way. Georgia's schedule past Oregon's really not strong unless Auburn is something that I'm unaware of. So I'm gonna go Georgia in the East, and until I see someone step up in the West, hell, you know what? I'll give it to Jimbo. He's talking a little trash. Let's put a little hoodoo on him and go A&M.
Yeah, I'm going to take A&M just because I feel like he's got a team. And
he's got the money. He'd get him if he doesn't have it.
Got the money now. He won it with coupons in Tallahassee. Now he's actually got a big bank book. So give me Jimbo. Things are just too easy for it to pick Alabama. And I guess I gotta go Georgia. But that's a team that has never done it before. So
if not Georgia, who?
Tennessee. Because you're not going to convince me into Florida.
I think it's between them and Kentucky. I think it is it's going to be a true fight and probably come down to that game. Didn't we just see
that Kentucky-Tennessee game is in Knoxville?
Yes.
Yes. Give me the Vols as a 1A. If I'm going to pick an upset, it's the Vols. If I'm going to pick a dark horse in the West, give me LSU because we don't know what Brian Kelly can do that first year, right? We're just going into it blind. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So we'll go ahead and let me get back to all right. Real quick, what are your picks today, sir? Give me a couple of picks this weekend. We'll be doing a 6-pack every Wednesday night, but there's obviously just not enough games. I mean, if
this one's changed throughout the day.
Give them to me, but
I've got two of them. I'm going to take the over in the Pitt Purdue game. It was sitting at 53 when we came on air. I like it either way. I think they'll both be putting up a lot of points, and that one's way too low. And as I've done all show, I'm going to stick with that theme and slide over to Saturday. And the over-under in the Cincinnati-Arkansas game is 52. I will take the over. Some sites have 53. Don't care which. I'll take it either way.
Cincinnati, Arkansas, over. I'll just say 52. Whatever.
I'm looking at two sites, and it's
what was the other one?
Tomorrow night, I would like Pitt, Purdue. Or, excuse me, Penn State, Purdue.
Penn State, Purdue.
And that one's at 53.
You're taking the over in that. Okay.
Correct.
That's what I wasn't sure about. Okay.
That just tends to be my week one go-to. You got to show me a defense before I bet it.
All right, I'm going to go. Mention a couple here that I really like. I hate the fact you talked about it because now I feel like if we're both on board, something terrible is going to happen to Memphis. But I really want to take Memphis from Mississippi State in the points. Let
Pair
me
that
go
up with Utah and LSU, and then bam, baby, you got a trifecta. Excuse me, parlay, wrong.
LSU, Florida State. That over's too low, 51.5. Give me a FSU, LSU plus 51.5. And by the way, I haven't even looked at I've been so focused on the actual lines. What do you have for? I am out of practice with this. So there's a way for you to organize it by timing kickoff, and then there's a way to they put it in there by the most popular game done. What is the over under that you are showing for? Wait a minute, is that true? Tennessee, Ball State? No, okay, that's the personal. Okay, never mind. I thought that over under was 51.5. I was like,
I'll say, give me that all day long. I changed all.
We're getting off the air because I got to put some dumb bones on this.
We might hit that. I'm showing the over under at man. You got to stay away from this. It's 50.5, ranging to 51.5, depending on sites. But I'm telling you, you got a legit defense in Utah, and we don't know what Florida has. They can play a sluggish game and keep it ugly. I think this could be a defensive slugfest. Man.
Yeah, and we don't do the money lines. So let me just take Utah -3.
I think if you want action that game, that's the way to go.
But honest engine, a parlay of Utah and LSU covering the spread, I think might be your best bet this weekend. I didn't really, dive into these and, really look at them this week. Next week will be a lot different for the NFL will be kicking off, and then college football week 2. And at that point, you get kind of an idea of what all these teams are. What's your walk-off for the day, sir?
Man, Braves, come on. We need to get a W tonight. Hopefully we can salvage it and hang in there. I don't want to play in the wild card, but it's not looking good.
Yeah, we're up 2-0. I think it went away. Oh, here it is. Mets are up 2-0 as well, and they have DeGrom on the mound. So there's that going on, which means Atlanta better win, or they're going to wake up tomorrow 4 games out, because I don't know who that was, but someone just roasted one off the damn wall, and the Mets are having their way with this Anderson guy. So, okay. My walk-off is Saturday morning. The show's back, 9 a.m. to noon. Tony Aguilini may stop by this week. Not sure. I haven't really talked with him as far as what his plans are for, with going to Utah and everything like that. Angelo is back. And then at 10 a.m. to noon, we're doing a live draft again, live fantasy football draft. And all the guys are going to get in there. We're all going to be talking smack and, it's always a fun show, but 9 a.m. to noon every Saturday. And I'm going to be dragging ass on some of those because I've looked at some of the start times, first pitches for the Braves from the night before, and I'm like, oh God. But we just got so many people that have been with this show for so long, and we used to do this several days a week.
Yeah.
Now life's gotten in the way. We only do so. I'm trying to do it all at once because I promised my wife we would not do a show on Sundays anymore. So.
I know, and it's tough for me. This is my first year of fantasy football retirement, so wow, can't believe 20-something years later it's come to an end. But hey, man, we play competitive with leaves. If I'm not competitive, I'm not going to be in. The rest of our teammates and
We got at least
contributors.
back into the trophy league or something next year. I mean,
I might dabble back into one of them, but baseball is my focus. Always been my first love. I'll never get rid of the fantasy baseball.
Once again, and you're gonna laugh at this. The one that I had to relay the message to Brad because he didn't. Either he didn't get it or didn't remember it that you weren't going to be in that Santa Fe league. So I was doing that. And then I look at the start time that he picked for our draft. I said, "Hey, I see him saying, can I ask for one thing? Can we not have the fantasy football draft in like the middle of the second quarter of the Florida State LSU game?" I mean, that's going to be auto draft, baby. I'm going to try to pay attention, but I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. I'm going to throw my phone against the wall and I won't be able to draft for like about an hour as I'm soaking in rice as it, went up against something. There's a reason why we're doing all our drafts Saturday, because we usually do it on Sunday. We're not doing it on a damn Sunday because I'm not going to deal with that, worrying about Florida State LSU and going, oh, it's your turn to pick. I'll tell you what I pick. I pick a brand new freaking defensive coordinator. That's what I pick. All right, brother. We'll see you next Wednesday, and the season's back. Glad to see everyone chiming in on the YouTube feed, and we'll be here every Wednesday. We'll be on here. We'll be on Colorcast. We'll be on the CBS affiliates. Thank you, Jason, for letting us run over a little bit. And thanks to all the porn sites that keep popping into our YouTube.
Well, that's going to make enjoying Taste Those W walk-off sound a little
I usually see them on the really popular. Yeah, I usually see them on the really popular baseball feeds, like if I'm doing against like the Mets and everyone comes pouring in to watch it. But anyways, we'll see you Saturday, and then of course Friday night Braves, Marlins 7:20 first pitch. Assuming that there's no rain, we will have the call. See you next week, brother.
Be safe.
Goodbye, sweetheart. It's time to go. We're back tomorrow with another show. Well, unless we're fired, we'll talk to you then. Goodbye, sweetheart. Goodbye. Goodbye.
Guys and gals, it's time to go. We'll see you on the next show.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening to the Armchair Quarterbacks on these CBS Sports affiliates and catching the show on YouTube Live. The Armchair Quarterbacks bring you Braves Country Baseball every Tuesday and Friday night, play-by-play with Magee. Find Armchair Quarterbacks on YouTube Live today. Please subscribe and share and take us everywhere you go. The Armchair Quarterbacks, your first choice for Southern sports talk, live from the First Coast.
Gonna get another cigarette, please. Can I